life sure has a twisted sense of humor. Here I am, Anna, just a regular gal who somehow ended up in the middle of a family drama that could give soap operas a run for their money. Let me set the scene for you. It's a sunny Tuesday afternoon, and I'm in the kitchen, trying to figure out if the pasta sauce needs more basil or if I'm just procrastinating to avoid going back to the living room where David, my husband, is having a chat with his sister, Sarah. David and I have been married for a bit now. He's a great guy, really, but his first marriage was a bust. No kids, just a lot of arguments, I guess. Then there's me, with my 10-year-old whirlwind, Alex, from a chapter of my life I don't talk much about. David's family, though, they're a whole other story. Especially Sarah. She's like one of those characters from a TV show that you love to hate. Always smiling and sweet-talking when David's around, but turns into a venom-spitting serpent the second his back is turned. I decided the sauce was fine and braced myself to face the music. Walking into the living room, I caught the tail end of what Sarah was saying. And honestly, David, it's so generous of you to take Alex in like your own. Not many men would do that, Sarah cooed, her voice dripping with something sickly sweet. David, bless his heart, didn't pick up on the sarcasm. Well, Sarah, Alex is a great kid. And Anna, she's been amazing. We're a family. I forced a smile, stepping into the room. Speaking of family, how about we all sit down for dinner? It's almost ready. Sarah turned her syrupy smile to me. Oh, Anna, that sounds lovely. I was just telling David how lucky he is to have you. Yeah, luckiest man alive, I muttered under my breath as I turned back to the kitchen. As the evening wore on, dinner went as expected. Sarah praised my cooking, made a couple of not-so-subtle digs at how I've managed to settle in with David, and even threw in a couple of backhanded compliments for good measure. It wasn't until we were clearing the table that Sarah decided to show her true colors. David had excused himself to take a work call, and Alex was upstairs, doing whatever 10-year-olds do these days. It was just Sarah and me, a moment she clearly had been waiting for. You know, Anna, it's funny, she started, leaning against the kitchen counter, a smirk playing on her lips. How you've managed to land a man like David. From a nobody to the lady of the house. Quite the upgrade, don't you think? I clenched my fists, trying to keep my cool. Sarah, I'm not sure what you're getting at. Oh, come on, Anna. We both know this is all just a big show for you. Playing the doting wife and mother. But we both know what this really is, don't we? A nice, comfortable setup. Her words stung, more than I wanted to admit. You know what, Sarah? I don't have time for this. If you've got something to say it to David. She laughed, a cold, harsh sound that filled the kitchen. Oh, I wouldn't want to burst your little bubble, Anna. Enjoy it while it lasts. But remember, I'm watching you. And sooner or later, everyone will see the truth. Who knew transitioning to a housewife would feel like stepping into a minefield, especially with Sarah lurking around every corner, eager to see me trip. David brought up the idea one evening, his tone hesitant, as if he was walking on eggshells. Anna, I've been thinking, he started, fiddling with his fork, not meeting my eyes. With the business taking off, I need more help. And I was wondering, maybe you could, step in? I looked up from my plate, surprised. You mean, leave my job? Work with you? Yeah. David finally looked up, his eyes hopeful. It's just, I trust you, Anna. And it could be good for us, for the family. What do you think? It wasn't an easy decision. I loved my job, the independence it gave me. But David was right. The family needed me, and deep down, I knew this was the right move. Okay. I sighed. Let's do it. For the family. It was another ordinary day, or so I thought, cleaning up after breakfast and planning my to-do list, when Sarah dropped by unannounced. Her visits were about as pleasant as a toothache, but today, she was on a whole other level. I can't believe you quit your job to play house, Sarah sneered the moment David was out of earshot. What's your angle, Anna? Gold digger much? I spun around, my blood boiling. Excuse me? I'm doing this for my family, Sarah, not that it's any of your business. Oh, please, she scoffed, rolling her eyes so hard I thought they might get stuck. You've got David wrapped around your finger. It's pathetic. Before I could unleash a comeback, David walked back in. What's going on here? He asked, eyeing us both. Your wife was just explaining how she's turned into the perfect little housewife, Sarah said, her voice dripping with venom. David's gaze flicked to me, confusion written all over his face, then back to Sarah. I don't like your tone, Sarah. What's your problem? Sarah huffed, puffing up like a blowfish. My problem? Your wife's a gold digger, David. She quits her job, and now she's living off you. Everyone sees it. That's when David lost it. His usual calm demeanor evaporated, and he turned to Sarah with a fire in his eyes I'd rarely seen. My office. Now, he barked, pointing towards the hallway. Sarah's mouth snapped shut, and she stomped off after David, shooting me a glare that could curdle milk. I was left standing in the kitchen, my heart racing, wondering what the heck was going to happen next. The shouting from David's office was muffled, but the intensity was crystal clear. Words like respect, family, and apology were thrown around, though who said what was anyone's guess. Then, all of a sudden, it went quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that screams, something big just went down. My heart was in my throat as I waited, dreading and anticipating in equal measure. Moments later, the office door flew open, and out stormed Sarah, her face the color of a ripe tomato, eyes blazing with fury. She didn't even glance my way as she barreled past me and out the front door, slamming it so hard the windows rattled. David appeared in the doorway, looking like he'd gone 10 rounds, with a heavyweight. He sighed deeply and met my gaze. I'm sorry you had to hear that, Anna. But I've had enough of her disrespect towards you, towards us. I walked over to him, my earlier anger melting away. Are you okay? He wrapped me in a tight hug. I will be. We will be. I had to make it clear to her that she can't treat you, or any of us, like that. After that showdown, Sarah became a ghost in our lives. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, with no sign of her. It was like she'd vanished off the face of the earth, at least as far as our family was concerned. Adjusting to life as a housewife wasn't a walk in the park, but I managed to get the hang of it pretty quickly. Our house, once just a place to crash after a long day's work, turned into a well-oiled machine under my care. I also dipped my toes into David's world of financial investments. Turns out, I had a knack for it, probably more than I had initially thought. Between balancing the books and running the household, life was full, busy, and in a strange way, satisfying. David and I even started talking about taking a belated honeymoon. With all the hustle of his work, we never really got the chance to do something just for us after we got married. We should go somewhere, just the two of us. Anywhere you want, he'd say, wrapping his arms around me after dinner, a soft smile playing on his lips. Yeah? I'd respond, leaning back into his embrace. And leave all this? I'd gesture around to our home, the life we'd built. Who's gonna keep you from burning the house down trying to make toast? He'd chuckle, a deep, warm sound. Guess we'll have to take the risk. I'll learn to make toast if it means getting you alone for a week. It wasn't just us, though. David was a rock star with Alex. He'd taken to teaching him baseball, showing him the ropes, the right way to swing, the techniques that'd make a difference. I'd watch them from the kitchen window, tossing the ball back and forth, laughing and cheering. It was everything I'd hoped for when I dreamed of having a family. Then, just as we started to really settle into this idyll, life threw us a curveball. David, with all his vitality and plans for the future, was suddenly gone. Heart problems, they said. It was unexpected, a bolt from the blue that left us reeling. One day we're planning a honeymoon, and the next, I'm trying to figure out how to tell our son that his dad isn't coming home. The world didn't stop, though it felt like it should have.